Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the show is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Kristen Burt Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Welcome to the show with
co-host Catherine Brandt,
Alex Brandt Bernard Rasmussen,
Andy Brandt Bernard,
and Kristen Burt.
There we go. Look at that. We got it all done. Everything. That was very professional, I thought.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like we've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. It's all true. So where do we start with the weekend?
Oh, my gosh. There's so much stuff, right, Kristen?
Yeah, there was a ton of stuff. I don't know. Do we want to start with Blue Origin today? Did anyone watch the launch?
Is that the Katy Perry?
I did not.
Thing?
No.
But what the hell?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't? Okay,
No.
so yeah, the all-female crew of Blue Origin went up into space for an 11-minute rocket ship ride.
What?
Blue Origin is owned by Jeff Bezos and his fiance Lauren Sanchez, Katy Perry, Gayle King, and some other women who are very accomplished, by the way. They're like scientists and social activists and all accomplished women.
They're not the ones people care about.
There's not the ones. And this is the big deal because of the bold-faced names that went into space, which they wouldn't say exactly how much each seat cost. But if you go on the Blue Origin website, which I did this weekend to do a little sleuthing, your deposit for one seat is $150,000.
Sure.
There are rumors. There are rumors it costs about $1 million to go up. And it's an 11-minute ride. I mean, you spend more time, I think, taking off and landing than you actually do.
Right.
In space.
Yeah, like up there.
Yeah, you're basically bouncing off of space, coming back in.
This happened this morning. A lot of people were saying, I hope this isn't like, this is so dark, but like the Titanic, the millionaires that went down and then the submersible that exploded.
Yeah.
They're back on the ground. They are safe, which is good. But on the ground watching was Oprah Winfrey, Kris Jenner, Khloe Kardashian. So it makes me wonder, now that we've seen celebrities going to space, this is going to be like the next billionaire, random waste my money. I've been to space.
Well, that's the next thing. Yep. Next big thing on your resume.
Yeah. And Kris Jenner and Khloe Kardashian were there to support Lauren Sanchez. They're very good friends with her and her husband-to-be, Jeff Bezos, of course, the founder of Amazon. And they've got a very big wedding coming up in Venice, Italy in June.
And it'll be in space.
It will be in Venice, Italy, but it will be, I think, very controversial in Venice because people will say that they disrupted the flow during tourist season. And we'll hear about it. We'll talk about it.
Well, that's what they want.
Well,
Didn't Katy Perry say something like, we're bringing the ass back to astronaut?
Probably.
What does that even mean?
Andy, see if you can pull up like a photo of the women. They put them in spacesuits. They tailored them to their bodies.
Yes.
So everyone looks like a knockout. I mean, they looked gorgeous, but they were done for the male gaze 100%. They were shapely and skin tight. And
yes, she did say she'll put the ass back in astronaut.
I love that.
So I almost wonder if this is sort of like a sort of an advertising campaign to get this kick-started. These women, these glamorous babes.
I was watching the live feed of it, and there was a reporter on the ground, and they were talking to Kris and Khloe, and I was like, this is what I want to hear, just because I feel like this will give us cultural indications of what's going to happen next. Kris Jenner's like, I am clearly staying on the ground, but Khloe's like, hey, now that I saw it happen, that they're all safe, I think I might do it. Like, she's open to the idea. And I was like, here we go. They'll try and get the Kardashians to go up. And this will be like the weird billionaire. Like, I've got too much money. I don't know what else to do with it. Also, this is going to be a very big, I feel like, battle between SpaceX and between Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Now, so you're going to be billionaires in their sword fight.
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk is only rescuing astronauts. This is much more interesting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Elon will probably want like a slice of that too. And that's the thing. Maybe. The egos are there.
He will.
Yeah.
Right here they are. There. Yeah. When you think spacesuit, you don't really think this.
No.
So it's all women.
Yeah. It was an all-female crew.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Which one of those is Katy Perry?
That was the one in the back left.
Back next to Gayle King.
That looks
Who's
like
Gail King?
the most Photoshop.
This looks AI
It's
almost.
very like airbrushed and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's a professional photo shoot.
It does look like
Gail King is Oprah's best
Oprah.
friend, but also the anchor for CBS Mornings.
Right.
Ah,
The one thing I'd like to add at this point is because Catherine and I went up to
Space Needle.
Did you do Mission Space?
We did. No, we didn't.
No, we did not do Mission Space.
We were going to, but
But
we
I will
didn't.
tell you, because of the people you just showed on the screen and the way they act in public and as arrogant as they are, they not only put the ass back in astronaut, they put the ass back in asshole. Because everybody, I would say under the age of 33, is so incredibly rude.
Not everybody.
Every one of them.
No.
Honest to God, they'll bump into you. If they're walking toward you and you don't get out of the way, they will run right into you. I mean, everybody's gotten so incredibly arrogant. It's unbelievable.
Well, they paid their $200 to get in
Yes,
Disney.
well, so did we. That's the other thing that they must
It's out
remember.
of my way.
Plus the fact your little tiny boyfriend there might get his ass kicked if he doesn't stop acting like that.
Wow.
I'm not saying by
This took a
me.
dark
I'm just saying
turn.
by somebody. No, I just am absolutely. This is exactly what's causing this. Is this kind of arrogance that this whole generation has? It's unbelievable.
Well, I would say everyone probably in that photo is at least 35 and up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there are
But you
bad
said
examples.
33 and younger.
No,
So
I what I said was they were the example for people at 33 and under.
gotcha.
The arrogance is just way, way, way out of. Matter of fact, call in if you agree. I just can't believe. I literally, a couple of people I had to say, you better stop acting like that, and they kind of looked at me like, what are you? Seriously, if
Tom,
you
do you know what
acted
you're
like
supposed to tell them?
what?
Have a magical day, which is the FU in Disney speak.
No, is it?
Magical day. It
Have
is.
a magical day. Well, I like
So
that.
if a cast member ever tells you to have a magical day, they literally have just told you to F off.
No, it was an absolutely wonderful trip and all the rest of it. But Catherine and I, by the end of it, yesterday on the way back, we were talking about how incredibly arrogant people have gotten. Pushy, arrogant, just
Yeah,
it's
well,
all about me.
It just doesn't help when you're driving on the turnpike and up in Orlando when these
Oh.
people just lay on your bumper. I
They
mean,
do.
this one woman, there was nowhere to go. Traffic was moving along great, but there were tons of cars. And she had a BMW. She had kids in the car. I was going 5 or 6 miles above the speed limit like everyone else. There was nowhere for me to go. And she was just laying on my bumper and she's flashing her lights at me.
Oh yeah.
I was
Oh,
like, where-
yeah, it's true.
I'm like, come on, lady, you've got
Yeah, that's
kids in the
messed up.
car. Why are you driving like this? So
The
aggressive.
stereotypical BMW driver.
So obnoxious.
We
I
have
know
that
that.
in LA. It's BMW drivers. I don't know
Really?
why. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know
there
why
you
that
go.
is.
Yeah, and then on the turnpike, you've got these, warriors that are just all they're doing is cutting in and out, and they just cause traffic to go slower everywhere else for everybody
Yeah.
else. Are they really getting someplace faster than
No.
me?
I doubt
Who's
it.
I'm going like 8 miles above the speed limit, not 15 miles above the speed limit. And I mean, are they really getting there faster to be?
And the
so
weaving in and
awful?
out can be really dangerous because people aren't
Yes.
paying attention
No.
on their
Yep.
phones and they're distracted.
Yeah.
It's really
Well-
And it's gotten, we've just noticed it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Used to never see people
Mhm.
tailgating in Minneapolis, and now that's all over the place too. They do
Oh,
it
it's
there
all
too.
the time,
It's
yeah.
everywhere.
That's unfortunate. Look, I mean, Catherine and I had a wonderful time going to. Oh, by the way, Universal was just a ball. God, we had a good time.
I wanted to hear about this because I wanted to hear your experience in between Disney and Universal because they're doing something in Hollywood and it reminded me of what we had talked about last
Oh,
week.
well,
So what
the-
was your customer service experience?
Well, we stayed at the Hard Rock Hotel,
Phenomenal.
which has a walking path right to Universal
Mhm.
Studios, and or a water taxi. So that was great, and the hotel was very nice. The food was nice, people were good. I mean, everything was good. What I loved the most about Universal is when you get a fast pass, which you get for I think free when you stay at one of their resorts. It's good for every ride all
Yeah,
the
it's
time,
wonderful.
except for some sort of Harry Potter one and some sort of new roller coaster. So there's 2 that you couldn't get on with that fast pass. But if you like at Disney, you get to use a fast pass every hour or you
Mhm.
have to choose 3 rides and they give you one out of the 2 most or one out of the 4 most popular, and then you can't get on there with a fast pass anymore.
And you
And then the
spend your
other
whole day on your phone too.
you
at
spend your
Disney.
whole day on your phone, and people are just walking around with their phone in front of their face. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this is not
Everybody. Yeah.
fun.
It's true.
So the whatever they call it at Universal, you get to go, like we finished Minions.
Mhm.
And I asked one of the people in the front, and I said, "So can I use this again? Like when?" And she said, "Anytime. Anytime. If you want to go on 4 rides in an hour, you can use the Fast Pass for 4 times."
That's how Fast Pass used to be at Disney World.
Yeah, I know. Well, now it's not even Fast Pass anymore. It's called something else.
Genie Pass.
Well, yeah.
Genie Plus, Genie
Plus.
Plus. I
I
think.
Something like
don't
that, yeah.
know.
Lightning Lane.
And now
bus.
they have another thing at Disney that I noticed on the app. You can purchase another premium pass for one ride for like $38 or something like that.
Mm.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So there was an article over the weekend, and I was thinking of you guys because we have Universal Studios Hollywood, a smaller footprint, obviously, than what you have in Florida. But they're remaking City Walk. Do you guys have City Walk in Orlando, which is like all the restaurants? And
That's right
Okay.
by, or that's right that's part of Universal.
Yeah, so
Isn't
they're
City Walk
remaking
the
City
Chinese
Walk.
in South Park.
What?
I'm pretty sure it is, isn't it?
What are you
Well,
talking about?
Yeah, the Chinese place in South Park. It's called City Walk.
City Walk and City Walk. WOK.
WOK, yeah,
Walk.
different.
Yeah. City Walk, which used to be like Disney Springs. So they are totally redoing the whole thing. They're building a brand new Universal themed hotel out here, not only to draw the locals in, because City Walk kind of during the pandemic just tanked, but it used to be a place where parents would drop their kids off on a Friday night, and they would be safely kind of contained in this little mall area, and you'd pick them up at 9, and they
Sure.
had fun for 2 hours, that kind of thing. So they're trying to do the same thing, but also appeal to the tourist. And you're seeing more and more of the theme park encroach on the actual working studio, because we don't
Yep.
need as much studio space anymore. But they really want to, they're saying, we want to take a run for Disneyland because people are complaining so much. And this is the opening, and Universal is walking right through that opening.
Well, we only went to one of the 3 or 4 Universal parks, and we didn't even know about this whole Harry Potter soundstage area that you go into, and all these little kids, they were having these wands, and they kept on doing this pointing, twirling thing, and I was like, what is going on? And they have all of these little interactive things that these kids can do, like they point at an umbrella and it starts to rain. You knock on what's the significance of number 12, the door number 12 in Harry Potter? Does anybody remember?
Door 12.
Door 12.
I'm not a Harry Potter aficionado.
Well, anyway, they were knocking, they knock on there, and then they looked up, and it looks like a townhouse row in London.
Headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix, 12 Grimmauld Place.
And they look up, and like this creature opens the curtain and peers out, and that didn't take a wand, but a lot of these kids, they were having a gas.
Mhm.
And then I bet you they would spend the whole day in that little Harry Potter area.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome. I love that, though.
Yes.
great.
And then they had a small kids area that is very similar to the Disney one over by Little Mermaid, with a little roller coaster, and they had a little water park for the kids. And we wandered into some live show. We're like, oh, there's a live show going on in 5 minutes. Let's just go in there.
Good.
Take
Really
a
good.
load off and get into some air conditioning. I have no idea who the people were. Zach and Amanda from some show, and he lost his magic and blah, blah,
Zach
blah.
and,
I don't know. It was some show. I have no idea what it was. And all kinds of characters came in, and they did songs and dances, and it was really cute.
At Disneyland, they've taken away there's no shows anymore at Disneyland.
Oh,
Which is
really?
There's
Really?
parades, but there's no shows. And we have this gorgeous theater in California Adventure. And originally it was the Aladdin Theater, and they would do a truncated version of Aladdin the musical. And then they made it Frozen, and then it closed down in the pandemic, and they never reopened it. But it was a great way to dump about 800 people in a theater on a hot day. You could sit,
Yeah.
you could relax. If your kids
Yes.
needed to nap or they needed different stimulation, it was a way to do it. But the Disneyland parks went equity, which is the stage performers union, and Disney doesn't want to pay the equity rates. And so they haven't brought back and there were a couple other shows, and we have a big outdoor amphitheater, again, left completely empty since the pandemic. And a lot of people are saying, why aren't you bringing back the park performers? Because that is where some of the magic of the park is, and it's gone. So, and it's interesting because Universal has kept up with their shows.
Yes, and we went to the ET ride, which is very tired looking.
Oh,
I mean, it's so sad. I mean, it's a
Well,
lot like it's a lot like the Peter Pan ride, where you just you're flying in this little thing. I mean, you're sitting on
It
a
feels very
bicycle.
old. Yeah.
But the animatronics are really
Yeah.
bad.
They were great 30 years ago when I was a kid, but yeah. And
so
these
cool.
days, yeah, I mean, it was still cool to see it again, especially since I haven't seen it for a very long time. But it was
nostalgia.
Yeah.
It was I mean, these were all clearly built a very long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know how long that's going to be there. And then the Simpson ride, that still holds up. That's still,
it's phenomenal.
It's still a simulator, ride, but it's really fun and it's really good. But there's not a lot of people in Homer Simpson world over there.
No.
So I don't know how long that's going to be around.
The Simpsons are not nearly as big as they used to be.
No,
not even
no.
close.
Yeah.
No.
And the Simpson ride, if I'm correct, because this is what happened in Hollywood, it was Back to the Future before that, and then they transformed it into the Simpsons. I don't know if they did that in
yeah.
Orlando.
Oh,
Probably.
I don't know if
Let's
they did
see,
or not.
it's
There was a
2000.
DeLorean parked outside. So yeah, I'm
You're
guessing
right.
that's probably true.
2008, it replaced Back to the Future, the
Okay.
ride.
So it's going to be the
We-
next version of that.
We have to take a quick break, but I got to tell you, going into the break, it happens everywhere Catherine and I go. Some people are acting weird and all the rest of it, but always, and I don't know why this always happens, and it happened again getting on the boat to go to Universal from the Hard Rock. Young black man, LaTroy. How old was LaTroy, you think?
I don't know.
He maybe about 30, if that.
Could be.
He comes over, he's hugging me, putting his arm out. Hey, big man.
He was a character.
You got to take care of those people over there because I can see in your eye that, you're going to get all annoyed and all that stuff. But don't do it. Don't do it, big man.
This is just some random black guy came up to you?
No, he worked there. No, he
was-
works there.
Oh, okay.
He
That
was
makes more
working.
sense.
He was working at the
Phenomenal.
docks.
I was like, what are you talking about?
And then we get back and he comes over again. Tommy, I've been waiting for you, man. How'd you do? How was it? He was so nice and wonderful and caring. It was just, we need more people like him.
Yeah,
I will tell
I
you.
feel like he should be working in the park doing something.
He should.
'Cause he's
You
got a
should write to
big
Universal.
personality.
So he gets I don't know, sometimes they get little incentives, whether it's
Do they?
financial. Yeah, oftentimes they do. If you
Oh.
write about, so if you know where he worked and can pass
I
something
will tell
along.
you. And we did talk, he and I, when he was had his arm around me, like a whispering in my ear and that stuff. He said, you and I came from the same kind of neighborhood. I can tell. That's why I came over. Remember? And I mean, he's talking to me about that. And that happens to me on any situation like that, going on a ride or if somebody's being a pain in the ass or whatever. It happens. Catherine can tell you it happens a lot. And it was so nice to see him again. He did such a nice job.
Yeah, he was a standout employee. That's
He
for sure.
certainly was a standout employee, but he thought he was very funny, and he was very
He was
funny.
very
He
funny.
was very
I
funny.
know you were complaining about something about me, and you're. I've been married for 45 years to this woman. He says, "You just tell him you put in 45 years. You should get some perks."
Yeah, he's turning on me on that one. He was turned on me, but
Tom, everyone turns on you, don't they? And then they go
Yeah,
to
that's
side with
all- it's all
Catherine.
one other thing I'll say going into the break, I am just right at 6 feet tall. We found that out, by the way, in our room at the Hard Rock because they have a mirror with all these different heights of all these different people.
Yeah, I guess Adele's as tall as me. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes,
Yep.
Mhm.
and now Elvis and I are the same height.
Who's
right at 6
5'3"
feet.
like me?
Oh, that was
geez, Madonna, I think.
was
Oh.
it Madonna?
I think
Madonna,
she's
that's about
Madonna.
right.
And
She's
they had
tiny.
Kristen Chenoweth, which is way
she's-
down there.
Kristen Chenoweth's at the bottom.
She's
4'10".
She's
I
so
think.
tiny.
Madonna
And her
is-
head's so big.
Madonna's 5'3", yes.
Yeah.
Or 5'3".
Yeah, so there you go.
Little
So
shorter than
5'3", yeah. We got to take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes more with Kristen Burt right after this. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company. Look, it's easy to feel like just another account number at the big national banks, but that's not how it works with my friends at North American Banking Company. Whether you're visiting their locations in Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, you'll always find real people you know by name and actually care about your finances, not some AI chatbot. They also offer all the modern conveniences you expect, like online and mobile banking, but with a personal touch that only a community bank can offer. So why settle for less? When you can bank with my friends at North American Banking Company, visit nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. As you go back, I have to say hello to Wesley and his family. Wesley was what, about 3?
Oh, he was so cute.
God, this cute little kid. We're taking
The monorail.
the monorail over
Mm-hmm.
at Disney World. Not at Disney World, at
Epcot.
Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, Wesley took me on as his grandpa at the park. And he's laughing and joking with me. He's smiling.
Yeah.
His parents were they're from Tennessee.
They're from Knoxville, Tennessee. They're originally from Wisconsin. They moved to Tennessee to get away from the taxes so that they could pursue some medical stuff.
That's very true. But honestly, God, the nicest, the father, the mother, the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. And Wesley,
Oh my God.
I
cute.
miss Wesley already. He kept calling me grandpa.
He had imitations. He could do Donald Duck,
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck, and a deer.
He could do a
A
deer.
deer?
Yes, he could.
How do you do an impression of a deer?
Well, they
don't
just
know.
kind of go. Ah.
Oh,
He was
I
very
see.
proud of his deer
His deer
imitation.
impersonation.
He was so cute.
He was
Did you
very
dine
good.
anywhere at Epcot?
No, I don't think we did. Did we?
At Epcot?
No, we had breakfast at
You're
the
not-
hotel. We
At
just did a
breakfast
quick
at the hotel.
service thing at
Yeah.
we stayed at the Grand Floridian. Nice
It is
place.
beautiful. God, it's
Oh,
gorgeous.
oh no. Well, yeah, that's true. Oh, and the Yachtsman. We went over to the boardwalk area and went to the Yachtsman Steakhouse because once again it was one of the only places that I could get a reservation at
Oh wow.
True.
because I didn't do it early enough. But then
Is
we
there-
did discover in the Grand Floridian there is a Michelin starred bar restaurant up
Mhm.
on the third
Yep.
floor, and we just stopped. We just had a drink. We didn't even have an appetizer or anything, but the menu looked fantastic. And she said, which I would have loved to have known, that we could have eaten there at the bar. That a lot of the Disney restaurants have started letting open seating at the bar.
She was great.
You don't have to have a reservation. So we could have done that, but I didn't really. We kind of threw this together. You know how Disney is. You have to plan for a year and a half before you can have a
Yeah.
vacation, which is also so annoying.
Yeah. Did the
Yeah.
Grand Floridian, have they started the renovations? I know that they're doing the lobby
Yeah.
and everything.
They're
Yep.
redoing the lobby.
God,
The
it's
rooms looked
beautiful.
great. The
Yep.
pools all looked really wonderful. We the Yachtsman was over at the beach club or whatever that's called, and they're redoing their major pool there. That was kind of a huge mess.
It was great.
But
it was
yeah,
really
but
good.
the food's always you can find good food most places. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah,
in the
I think
park,
so.
I think everything's kind of salty and overpriced. But there's some Epcot's got good restaurants. I don't.
I
think the
enjoy
Magic
eating at
Kingdom-
Epcot. That's
Yeah.
why I was asking. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the Magic Kingdom is not so great
No,
for
it's
food.
very just like quick and greasy.
Yeah, and even if
Yeah.
you go into one of the, you're paying for the character and for the room experience. You're not really paying for fine dining. It's okay, but it's usually very salty.
But we loved it. I don't know why. Why do you think that is? That little kids and black men reach out to me when we're in a
I
group
think
like
you
that.
just have a vibe.
I got a vibe. Or
Yeah, little
something.
kids
That's
do
your audience.
do like you.
Yeah,
It's
my
true.
audience, young black men and little kids.
Well,
That's
and
my
they
audience.
said that their kid never doesn't say grandpa.
No, he didn't say grandpa. He just called me grandpa.
Both of his grandparents they have nicknames for them. So he's like grandpa, grandpa.
That's cute though.
That is cute.
Well, I remember
it's very sweet.
when the kids were really little and they would see somebody with gray hair. They'd say, that grandpa over
That's a
there.
grandpa, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's like they
Yep.
don't necessarily have grandchildren, but
God, I wish we had you longer today. Why don't we have you longer? We can talk more about we can talk more about the Disney experience tomorrow because it was wonderful.
Oh,
The
good.
rooms were great. The rides were a lot of fun. The food was really good. The people were very, very nice.
got to
except
go
for
on Ratatouille.
Got to
I
go on
love Ratatouille. That's
That was
such a
great.
great ride.
It's such a great ride.
No, Kristen.
Okay, go ahead.
A year from November, from my certain birthday that I have coming,
Mhm.
and whether they want to go or not, I don't give a rat's ass. They're all going. I want to spend a week at Disney World and Epcot and go to all the places that we went to. So you should come to that.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
Just let me know the dates and I will put it on my calendar. And
November 7th, 19.
Wow.
What is it? November 7th,
We have to start
2026.
doing some serious planning if it's already in
Oh
November.
God!
I mean,
No,
we're
no, no,
already
no.
months behind.
A year from this November,
6 months.
2026.
Next year.
It still doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can't
Start planning
you
now
can't plan
anyway,
early
that's
enough.
okay, we're already late. we're
They
already,
did.
We're already
planning.
moment dining.
Epcot and Universal did a great job. The employees are all very friendly. They're
I
very
love
nice. I mean, LaTroy was by far the nicest because he kept giving me hugs and stuff. He could just tell that I was annoyed, which was very, very funny.
You have no poker face though. Like
No,
that.
I don't. No,
No,
that's true.
that's true.
I don't either. So I
Me neither.
understand. If you know I'm mad, I'm like,
Very loud face.
I'm not feeling you. I'm not feeling you.
Hey, big man, how you doing, big man? Because one thing I will tell you, and this is very, very true, we went through Disney World and so Epcot and Universal. I, except for two people, was the tallest guy by about 3 inches in the entire. Man, people on the East Coast are not very tall.
It's true.
I will
That's me. 5'3".
Yeah, 5'3". There you go. But
I live in the West
no.
Coast now, but yeah.
I understand it. But while we're keeping you too long, sorry about that holding on long. But
Okay.
we'll,
We need to talk about the Masters because I feel like
Ah.
we willed Rory
Absolutely.
McIlroy to
Oh,
win the
We
Masters.
did.
oh,
We
do you
won.
have one more minute to talk about it? You got to go.
Yeah, I can do another minute.
That
Okay,
was
good.
That was the most
You two go.
exciting Masters
Phenomenal.
tournament I've
Yes.
ever seen. I
Phenomenal.
mean,
Did we will it? Because I said, he's one of the front runners. I was like, he's one of the front runners to
Yeah.
win. Not that he did it all as himself, but
did
let
you
me
watch
tell
the last bit?
I did, and
God.
everyone was watching. It was live on every social media
Yeah.
platform, and I was like, you couldn't miss it. But
Oh,
Full
When-
Swing season 4 is gonna be good.
Oh,
yeah.
I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched
I
it
mean-
at a bowling alley.
Honest to God, when he missed that putt, I
I
was
know,
just like,
when he-
Rory, you son of a bee.
What time would this have been roughly?
5,
Five?
6
no, about 6 o'clock.
last
Minnesota
night?
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
we were,
home
uh,
just in.
We were
Time.
over at Ethan's grandpa's house and we left around then. We did
I
like
was
an
at-
Easter thing.
I was at my niece's
Mm.
birthday party at a bowling alley,
Ethan
but they
did
had
his-
it on the screen.
Ethan
You
did his
had
first
to. It was a
time.
moment.
He started crying. I thought that was very sweet that he literally
Oh,
started
he's been
crying.
working his butt off, and he's
pressure-
wanted this for a long time.
Missing that putt and then going into
Oh.
Sudden
the
death.
extra hole, and then finally, like the pressure that he must have been feeling was.
I know, and then
I would imagine.
Rose hits his shot right.
Yep.
He's been making putts all day long, and you're like, "Oh my God, that's it!" And then Rory hits his, and it goes closer. You're like, "If he misses this putt,
Sweating.
Yeah.
I know, I was
Sweating
like-
we're all doing.
I know, I was feeling a little sick to my stomach."
And of course, like social media is super messy. And so they're talking about, Rory's had a lot of personal situations going on. And he was allegedly might have had a fling with the reporter at the end who interviewed him.
Oh,
So, messy TikTok comes into play and they're like,
Rory McIlroy used to be my favorite golfer. Like I always loved him. I was like, oh, he just seems so nice.
He's a nice
I think
kid,
a lot
yeah.
of I think
he's
he
a
is
mess.
nice. I
Mhm.
think
He is a mess. I didn't realize
mess.
he was engaged to, was it Carolina Wozniacki, the tennis player?
Yes.
And then
mhm.
they sent out the wedding invites. And a week later, he calls her by phone. He's like, I can't do this. And he never spoke to her again.
Oh God.
No, he just
Oh.
ghosts his
He
fiance.
completely
And
ghosted
he
her.
also, and he doesn't talk about where he's from.
Yeah, he does.
No, he's like
He's from
very
Northern
weird
Ireland.
about his like heritage. Like, is he Irish? Is he? Like, he's weird
Oh.
about it.
I don't know.
Look it up.
That's weird.
Thanks.
Because I heard some story about how he grew up pretty broke, and his dad was encouraging him to golf, and they'd go to the driving range, and he only had enough money for one bucket of balls, and little Rory wanted to keep playing, and
It's
that
probably
this-
the PR story that gets spun, the more
Yeah.
you spin it,
Yeah.
the more that becomes the fairy
maybe.
tale.
Maybe.
It's probably because TikTok has been bringing up his very messy past, and I was like, oh, I forgot all this, and then I was like, I didn't know the Carolina Wozniak thing, and so it's
Yeah.
crazy, but it makes him more complex and interesting. It's the same thing with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was kind of one note, just like driven, like
Right.
golf.
Yes.
That's it, child prodigy. And then when he had that very messy divorce, you see like the darker aspect of like why he was so driven. And to me, it makes it more interesting to watch as someone who doesn't really watch golf.
Well, when you think about it too, I mean, these guys are gone from their families. I mean, they are gone from their girl, unless the girlfriend is like following them around everywhere, which has to get really boring. being
And then
the
once the kids start
sidekick.
school, you can't really do
No,
that.
I mean,
So,
they're
yeah.
they're really not around for most of the year. It's got to be tough.
Yeah,
Like
it's
any
true.
professional sports person. It's like either you
Yeah.
follow them around or you're never together.
Or you're never
Yep.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's temptation around every corner as all the groupies are throwing themselves at them constantly.
Well, comedians say the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Right.
very
Yeah.
hard on a relationship to be on the road like 80% of your
It
life.
is.
All right, Kristen's got to go, so we got to step aside here. But on the way out, I want to say, bring up to Catherine tomorrow the about probably 70-year-old guy sitting next to her on the Simpsons ride.
Okay.
Whoa, wee, whoa!
All right. I cannot
I
wait to
felt
hear
like
that.
I was next to Homer Simpson.
He did. He
Oh,
seemed
God.
like Homer.
Whoa.
It's like a stationary roller coaster. You got a lot of stationary roller coasters at Epcot. No, not at Epcot, the other place.
Universal.
Universal.
All right.
They have
We'll do
them at-
Universal
they
Part
got
2 tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Kristen.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying
See you all
longer.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Kristen Bird
Bye.
Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We'll take a break and be right back. Yeah, I know going from Kristen to Bob is quite the disappointment, but
I'm sure Bob will have
Ooh,
a
I
lot
got-
to say about the Masters.
I bet he does, and I can't wait to hear it.
Mhm.
Let me tell you about my bank, North American Banking Company. When it comes to banking, it's all about trust, and that's what you get with them. They've been around since 1998, and they've always made it clear they're here to give you a better banking experience with a focus on the local community. And you won't be dealing with some AI chatbot. You'll get straight answers and quick decisions from real people that know you and your situation, and are always ready to help. So if you're tired of the big national banks and want something better, stop by and see my friends at North American Banking Company. And remember, I don't call people my friends unless they are my friends. Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser. Bob Sansevier Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Sandy, you got a lot to talk about today, I bet.
Well, I mean, I'm representing with my Masters hat. It was one heck of a finish, and I'll tell you, we
best.
all love a good story of redemption, and who redeemed themselves better than this guy after failing several times, after looking like he could win the Masters and complete the career Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's amazing about that? You've seen the names, the other 5. There's 6 now with the career Grand Slam. There are 2 names that are glaringly missing from that list, and I was surprised to see it. I'll give you the list. He's one of them.
Yep.
Arnold Palmer, the guy with the drink named after him.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Arnold.
yeah,
I thought you said Obama. I was
Obama, yes. Obama
Obama-
should be on the list.
He has not had the career Grand Slam.
No.
But
No,
Gene,
he is not.
Gene Sarazen from back in the 30s, Ben
Yeah.
Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, no Palmer, no Ben Watson.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
That is surprising.
It's the PGA, though, that I think neither one of them won. And I'll tell you, to me, and this goes back decades, there have been the 3, what I consider the great majors, the Masters, the U.S. Open, and the Open. We call it the British Open, but the Open. The PGA is like the little stepbrother. It's kind of, to me, it's a notch below. It's not, though. It's a major, but if you're going to win any, you want to win those 3. You know?
So what is a Grand Slam? How many is
4
it?
of them.
4. So
Yeah.
okay, so it's the Masters, PGA,
Open.
Open.
Open. U.S. Open, British Open.
Oh, okay, that's what we were trying to think of yesterday.
Mhm.
What was the 4th one? Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think they count the Swahili Open or anything like that.
No, they do not.
No,
You're
but I mean,
absolutely
it was a terrific finish for him, and you got into a little bit of his dating life.
Yeah.
Whoops.
A year ago, he filed for divorce from his wife, and then they decided to stay together. And I think the woman that she was referencing was it Amanda Balionis?
Yeah, it was
Yeah. She's the one that did the commentary. A lot of the interviews on Full Swing. Yeah.
Well, and Wozniak was also on for ESPN, and I read the stuff, I didn't hear it, but I don't think she would. They were looking for in Britain. They were looking for reasons to say they were digs that she took.
Oh.
Right.
But he did break up with her with a phone call. Hey, at least he didn't text.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
Good
didn't
point.
Sylvester Stallone send a fax once to break up with someone or a fiance? I think he did.
Yeah, I think Rory had just won a huge tournament and filed papers like 3 or 4 days later on his wife, and I don't know why they decided to get back together, but I mean, I'm glad, I guess, for them. I hope they worked it out.
The way they met, she worked for the PGA, and he was late getting up for an event, so she got him a police escort to the golf course, and I think that's what started it. So she's been supportive of him since the very beginning. And I remember the Open here. Tom, you remember what year it was when they had it at Hazeltine?
Oh God,
that's a long
Like
time
15
ago.
years or so ago. But
Yep.
whenever it was, his girlfriend that he had at the time, I mean, all anyone talked about was her, how would you describe it? Her hourglass figure.
Okay.
She was a bosomy lad or gal for the lad.
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 Me lad.
It's a whole other story.
And so he was young then, though. So maybe, his priorities changed. Oh, and you remember the stories? Because I did a story back when, I think it was when the Open was coming here, and that they had the PGA and the Open at Hazeltine. I talked to people at Hazeltine and Hazelden, and they both had people showing up at the wrong doorstep.
Oh, wow.
At
What's a rehab?
Hazelden, the rehab facility, they had people come with golf clubs. thinking
Really?
that- yes.
No way.
And then the other one, Hazeltine, people drove up thinking that was the facility. They were going. How do you not check it to make sure? Hazeltine, Hazelden, they're not that close.
Hazeltine
Well-
most recently had the U.S. Open in '91.
That's when it
God,
would
it
have been
was
four
that
times.
long.
Oh, that's when we went with Louis, right?
Louis Anderson.
91.
Yep.
Yeah,
Didn't we
And then-
go? We
I
went
would have been
with him to the
5, you would have been
tent.
3. So
Yeah, I was 2. No, you went with Louis. I was aware of what was.
Oh, you were okay. You were around. Okay, seems
Yeah.
like a million years ago.
No, that was, I'd say,
Some other big. It was a big major tournament
Well, the
in
PGA
Minnesota.
was here too.
PGA was, yeah.
Oh, that must
Recall
have
the
been what
year.
it was.
See, now I get to ask my question because Mary popped on, and it's very important to my question.
Hey, she did more time to do her hair.
No, I haven't combed my hair in 2 days.
Attack.
I'll just be honest here.
So, Mary, we're just talking about professional athletes and actors and all the rest of it, that they get married and then they get divorced and they get married again, then they get divorced and they get married and they get divorced. And look,
Sounds like your brother Tony.
yeah, exactly. When I was young, I dated a lot of very nice women. They were terrific. They're very pretty women, nice people, and the rest of it.
Sure they were.
But you always knew, at least I always knew, it was never going to end in marriage. That the only person I've ever thought of marrying was Catherine. No, I was only 29 years old when I met her, so I suppose it makes sense. But I don't understand this getting married. Yeah, look, you get married 85 times, that's your business. But I kind of knew that Catherine and I were going to get married someday. And I didn't have that feeling with anybody else. Nothing against them. That's not what I'm saying at all. They were very nice, wonderful people, but you just kind of knew it wasn't going to end in marriage. You've been through that, I
Well,
bet.
that's what dating's all about, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Trying to figure out who you want to be with.
Well, yeah, and there's some people that date a lot, and then there's other people that, like you meet someone, and if you don't feel like it might be a long-term thing, you don't do it. Like,
Right.
like there's serial daters, and then there's people that just
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I will be, and I think I recommend this for everyone. And I also didn't marry until I was in my mid-30s. I'd never been married before, but I had said all along, I will not marry someone until I am convinced I can remain faithful to them.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I had this
Yeah.
one gal in New Jersey. I broke up with her like 3 summers in a row. I wanted my summers off. I didn't want to keep dating anymore. I mean, she was
Wow,
really,
she
she
took
was,
you
but I
back?
was honest. She was very
Nice.
nice, and when I look back, I realized what a dick I was
Yeah.
for doing that. But
Kind
but
of a
with
dick
Mary, I
move.
mean, I haven't swayed at all. Although now, I mean, I couldn't sway. Mary told me, by the way, I don't take hats off anymore. Last week I said, I got to go, I'm going to go get a haircut. She goes, what are you going to have cut? You're going bald in the
Oh,
back."
God.
Okay,
Attack.
I have, well, if I take my hat off, it looks horrible now, but wait.
Oh, he's
Here,
taking his
there
hat off.
actually is a little bit of hair up front.
Yeah.
The
you
back-
got some hair.
Now, I think I told you, okay, if I was combed and it was, washed, you'd see more. It looks like Mary's now.
And fluffed.
Oh, my
But if,
God. There you go.
But if I had, when I was in 5th grade, I had a teacher, they walk up and down the aisles. He walks past me to the next desk, backs up and goes, 5th grade, mind you, you're going bald.
Oh!
I had
In
a cowlick.
5th grade.
oh yeah,
So now my
brutal.
my cowlick has now gotten a little more. The cowlick's gone, and so is some of the hair there. But it's not that bad, Might look bad just now, but I tell you what, I'll put my
Right.
hair up against Mary's any day right now.
You need
Oh my
one of those
God.
$600
Personal attack.
red
I just
red
want
caps.
to point out, I said, hey, are you doing Tom's podcast today? And he said, yeah. And he sends me the link at like 11:04.
Oh.
So,
Plenty of time.
and it's not even like you can sneak in. It's like, if I'm
Plenty of
here or not. And no, I didn't comb my hair. I mean, drove from South Dakota. Well, no, I don't have an excuse. I just didn't comb my hair.
But I
That's
just,
okay. We
I
don't mind.
really don't
You're always
understand
lovely.
how you think you're going to marry somebody someday, and then you end up sending them a text saying, I'm not going to marry. I mean,
That's called cowardice.
that's just
Yeah.
bizarre, though.
That's
He
just being
sent a
big
phone
coward.
call. He
Yeah.
called her. Classy guy.
But
He
still,
also, but
that's cowardly.
he did it like the day or two after the wedding. He couldn't do it before the wedding invitations went out.
God,
They'd already gone
yeah.
out, and he did it.
That's
That's so
unbelievable.
weird because he seems like such a nice
Rory
guy. That's a
McIlroy.
real jerk move.
yeah, that's pretty crappy.
I don't
Yeah.
know if he is a nice guy though, because Bryson DeChambeau said he did not speak to him at all. During the round, they
really?
didn't chat. I mean,
Why?
you'd think they would. I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to stay locked in, or maybe he's a jerk.
Is-
I've interviewed him and he seemed fine, but again, interviewing someone and how they
Yeah,
are in their personal
that's
life
different.
are completely different things.
I
Now-
think
Yes.
in order to be like a savant like that, you have to have something a little wrong with you.
Yeah, probably.
Like to be the best in the world at anything,
Mhm.
Well,
big part of your brain has to be like taken over by that thing.
100%.
And usually it's
yes.
like social norms and that sort of thing.
Well, you have to remember too, Rory is worth probably $250 million.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Worth
has
more
his
today.
ass, he has his ass kissed morning, noon, and night.
Yep.
And when people start treating you like that, and you're in that stratosphere of everybody wanting a piece of you and cheering for you like that, it does change your brain.
Yes.
Well, his brain is changing today because he's now one of 6. And
Yep.
on that list, Tiger's still alive, Jack's still alive, Gary. Well, actually, 3 of the 6 are still alive. Saracen and Hogan are the only ones that are gone. So that's not too bad.
So does anybody retire after the Grand Slam? I mean, why
No.
keep going?
Because there's a lot of
for
money
real.
to be made.
Yeah, like what?
But
Why
he's
nobody has
got
$200 million?
scads of
What
money.
does he need?
I know.
Yeah.
Adulation. I mean, but it never is enough for them because they're always, well, I might want to get a 3rd yacht, and also they're setting it up for he's got a daughter. I mean, him to keep going, his daughter should be set for life.
I know, but he's got a little girl. His marriage was rocky. They've reconciled. He's got a little kid. Why not just take off some time and
Just be a
enjoy
person.
your money
Well, he might now.
and your family?
Name one golfer who, even if he didn't win everything, just stopped playing. They never stopped playing. So they figured, why not make some money at it? I mean, Nicholas is still going. He's still he was the starter now, but he still shows up at events.
He's got.
But
he's 85 years old.
They
Well,
don't
is he
stop.
really?
He's one of the starters. I think with Player and who's the other one? Is it Gary Player is one, and is Watson the other one?
What about Craig
I think it might be.
Stadler?
He still might be playing,
He's 71, so he could.
but he could be playing on the senior tour too. A
Right.
lot of these guys just go to the
Man.
senior. There's so much money, and if they like playing golf, why not keep going?
Yeah, I suppose.
Let's see, golf grand slams. Here we go. We've got Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Rory.
Well, and Tiger Woods is basically forced out of the game because of his health.
Well,
right?
his health has been miserable.
He also made a few questionable decisions in his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, but he
Oh, yeah.
tries.
he did.
He hasn't stopped playing though. He still tries to come back and play, so he doesn't want to get away from it.
Yeah.
To his credit, I mean, that's pretty good.
We need to take a quick break. Be right back right after this with Sandy and Sandy.
I'll comb my hair while we're gone.
Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing. And people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant. It's time for Welshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Welshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Welshire is the place I highly recommend. Welshire is a memory care focused facility that has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They've never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Welshire Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally, have for a long time, a couple of generations, as a matter of fact. And they are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They are the best staffed memory care facility in the state. Welshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. Welshire has a robust community, which is a wonderful thing. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Welshire. Set up a tour or learn more at welshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com. Ooh, we got Pretzel. We got Elvis Presley. He was only married once, wasn't he?
Yeah, just Priscilla. He married her when she was 14.
Oh,
That's when he met her.
He met her when she was 14.
old
That
was
is
he, though?
absolutely
Who?
like
What?
23 or something.
Oh,
I think he
So
waited till she
gross.
was 60, or I think she was might have been 18 when he did marry her. But he brought her. How about that family of hers? He
I know.
brought her over to live with him, to live with his family. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. It's very gross.
Sure, he did.
So do you think this show, Full Swing, made the Masters that much more interesting to a lot of people that probably didn't even care that much about golf?
How many people know about it? Because I haven't watched it. I don't know.
Oh,
anything
it's
about
really
Oh,
good.
really?
Who's
A
in
lot
it?
of
Really
peop-
good.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Which one is it?
we
Where do you find
it's
it?
a Netflix
Mhm.
show
Series?
about it's been going on for 3 years. It follows what was the one yesterday?
Oh,
the
Tom,
Korean guy,
yeah, Korean.
Tom Woo.
Tom Wu, I think maybe is his name.
Never even heard of him before.
Very good show, though.
So
it's
it's a
a great show.
documentary, or is it a?
In a way.
Yeah, it's interviews. It's a lot of
Yeah.
interviews, and yeah, it's
Tom Kim.
Tom
Like
Kim,
behind-
there you go.
behind the scenes kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that,
Mhm.
yeah.
well,
And they-
people like that now. They like to see like real, like behind. They don't want to see just like the surface stuff, the glamour stuff. They want to see like
Mhm.
real life and behind the scenes, and
Yeah.
So I would say it would draw more interest.
Well, yeah, this show it really highlights how when you get on the PGA Tour, how cutthroat and
Oh, yeah.
hard it
Yep.
really is to succeed at that level. I mean, one of the comments on the one that we saw yesterday was when a new player's coming up and he looks like, and he's been winning everything and he's gone pro at 18, 15, whatever, and he's just a hot shot, and they start golfing together with the big boys,
Right.
and they seem like they're all their buddy old pal, and it's like, nope, they're looking for weaknesses. They're trying to find out how you click so they can mess with you later on. It's a great series. You should watch it. I'm sure
I'll
you
check
would
that
like
out.
it. I'm
No, I
sure
It's
you
will
would
really
like
check
good.
it out.
It is
And you don't
really
and you
good.
don't have to be a golfer, I don't think,
No.
to watch it.
Did they do one about? We got a text. Phil Mickelson getting second place 6 times in the U.S. Open.
I mean,
Oh, God.
No, I don't. They haven't done Phil yet, and I don't know if Phil would have done one because the first season was filmed right when that Live Golf was taking off, and Phil went with Live Golf, and everybody thought he was a traitor
Oh, that's
and that
right.
he shouldn't
yeah.
have gone, and everybody's really, really mad at Phil. So I don't know if Phil would have done an interview to tell
Yeah,
you
he
the
has
truth.
won the Masters, PGA, and the Open.
God.
So all he was missing is the U.S. Open, which he got second place in 6 times.
Jesus.
So
Well, and
he's been
he did-
this close to a Grand Slam 6 times, but just couldn't do it.
Yeah, and he's come back. I mean, he's getting a little older. I mean, most people in
He's
their
54.
yeah,
That's
most
pretty
people
old
in
for
their
a golfer.
it does get
It-
older for a golfer, but he won something not too terribly long ago that surprised everybody.
Had
Let's see. The
Oh,
average
Masters.
PGA Tour winner is 33.
Ooh.
Yeah,
How about
Well-
U.S. Open? I'm guessing also about 33. Let's
it's
see.
probably all the same.
Yeah,
Mhm.
32,
so
33.
they kind of peak in their early 30s,
and then
Yeah.
their back gives out. Yep.
Rory
and
Mc-
then their back is out or their shoulder.
I know.
If-
Rory McIlroy looks like he's 50.
yeah, he's only 35.
That's
Well, he
nice.
did come in young, and
He
know,
He did.
yeah.
When
If-
he has gray hair,
he
Yeah.
does.
He just
I don't
like
know.
he's
Grayish.
got
Yeah.
that like older face.
he's
Well,
gray-
that's a lot of sun out there in the golf.
Not
That's
a-
the thing is, the sun. Yeah,
yes.
There's a lot of
Irish, so it's not like they're used to sun. You know.
there's
They're
a lot
not-
of weather-beaten and booze-beaten Irishmen. out there.
Yes, that's
when
very
did he
true.
start?
He was a teenager, I think, when he started.
He was
Yeah,
late
let's see.
teens, I think, or early 20s. He was around. He's been around a long time.
He has. And he was winning absolutely everybody. Everybody thought he was the next Tiger Woods. And then he flatlined for like 10 years, didn't he?
Well, the U.S. Open was 2011, and then he won the PGA the next year, and then the Open the year after that. So
Yeah, he was a
11
big shot,
years
yeah.
between the Open and the
Yeah.
Masters.
That's a long time to not win a major for a
It is.
professional golfer. Yeah.
Yep. It was great to watch, though. God, it was really fun to watch. No question about that.
That was the best Masters ever.
He's younger than me. That's shocking.
I know.
Well, you take care of
There
your
you go.
skin.
Well, there's a picture of him on his Wikipedia page from 2013, and he looks like the dad from the Santa Claus.
From 2013.
Some people just are like that. They're born old.
Well, because Bob's
Bob, how-
Italian, I will say
how
what
old did,
Bob's thinking right now.
Ask how old Bob's son thought he was.
Yeah, he told some woman's mom or some girl's mom on his rodeo team, "Yeah, my mom's 50 and my dad's 70."
He
Okay,
got both
I've
our
aged
ages wrong.
I have looked like
Your age,
this.
yeah.
I may have looked 70 since I was 35. And Tom, you remember this? I told this the guy at the Dayton Mart, right? He's
Yeah.
ethnic. Remember, you used to
Yep.
go there a lot to stop.
Yep.
This goes back to when my son Sawyer, who's 27 now, he had to be 7 or 8. I go up to the, and I think I've told you the story, but I go up to the counter and he goes, "Is that it?" I said, "Nope." And I said, "My son's over there getting, getting a drink." He looks at him. He looks at me. He goes, "He know your son. He grandson." I said, "No, he's my son." No, grandson. And if you know him, Tom, you know that's how he
Yes.
would talk.
Absolutely, he did. There's no question about it.
I mean, all of my kids, and I've told him my daughter Sienna is 15. I don't even tell them. I go right from grandfather. I'm not their grandfather. I'm her great grandfather. They used to say, "No way." Now, they just accept that I'm a great grandfather.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Ethan thought I was 5 years old last night. So
5.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Eddie, these are adults. When Mary and I, before Sam was born, who's 29 now, we had a foster daughter, Cassandra. We're in at Ridgedale, not Ridgedale, Southdale, in a woman's clothing store. I'm in my mid 30s. A woman comes up. I'm sitting there. She was going to help you now. I said, "I'm waiting for those two over there." She goes, "Well, I'll let your daughter and granddaughter know." I was 36. This has been it since I was 12. I have had progeria since I was 12.
When I visited my grandpa this one time, one of the nurses was like, "Oh, are you here to visit your father?" It's a 60-year age difference. So either you think he's a lot younger than he is, or you think I'm a lot older than I am.
Well, there's also not a lot of grandkids that go see
That is true.
people in the old folks' home,
Yeah, probably
unfortunately.
true.
That's
Not a
very
lot of
true.
kids either, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah.
Probably true, but what the hell? What are you going to do?
We have
So-
to wait. Can we circle back to golf really quick?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh,
Would that be okay? I have
Alex is outta
actually a
here.
funny golf story, but if you don't have time, it's okay.
Oh, Alex is leaving. Mary, wave to her.
Oh, bye, Alex.
Oh, that's right. Alex got to go.
Bye.
See you later, Alex.
Tom did want to move on, but go ahead.
Okay, no, we can
I
move
did
on.
not. No, I'm ready.
go ahead, Ruben.
I'll make it super quick. I worked for a company, big company in Minnesota that I'm not going to name. And it was when email first came out. So we were having a class on learning how to do email. So this is a long time ago. And so I wrote to practice a gushing email to the president of the company. And then I hit send because I'm dumb. I was like, I didn't realize it would actually go to him. You know, I thought we were just practicing in the classroom and I was being funny for my coworkers. Anyway, he got the email because it immediately came up as a red receipt.
He left his
And I'm
wife.
going on and on about, the company and how I look up to him and like gushing. So he
Kissing
must have
ass.
wondered who this person was. And he put me on his golf team for the company golf tournament.
Oh.
And then she was gone.
And then she just disappeared.
Uh-oh. It must be a really big company in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And
they
then
just
I had to
cut her
fight
mic.
to get her
Well,
back.
They just kidnapped Mary.
What the heck?
That was weird. She just disappeared right in the middle of talking.
Well, Tom, she
That was
told the
odd.
story. She told the story, dropped the mic, and left.
Yeah.
I guess.
Was all
She
she
didn't even
had
get to
to
the-
say.
Must have been the deal. I don't know. It all works out in the end, I guess. But
She drops all the time. It'll come back.
You need a Starlink.
She,
Well, I
don't
think
know.
she's just like basically on her cell phone in her living
is.
room. So I mean,
Yeah, she
yeah.
is.
Oh.
oh, she's on her cell phone.
I'm
Well,
in
we,
my
gotta-
studio.
well, we can take our final break right here, and when we come back.
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
She might be back with us, so that'd be good. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant. We'll be right back with at least.
Oh, sorry,
we're going
I'm
to be
not
back.
sure
We're going to be
what
back with both of them right after this.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Well, here's the deal. You're listening. You're listening to me. Your customers listen to me, and they'll hear me promote your business. Here's the deal. Tom Bernard Podcast attracts thousands of listeners who are loyal, engaged, and ready to support businesses they trust. You got proven results. Our podcast has helped numerous businesses increase traffic, sales, brand recognition. We're not just about ads. We're about results. So you can ask Bilski and, Michael Bryant, and I can go down the list. We just heard from, as a matter of fact, Valley Auto. You've been my buddy now for about 40 years. Big advertiser. Our audience spans multiple demographics too, which is always a good thing, allowing you to target your ideal customers with precision, from millennials to baby boomers and everyone in between, with the broad reach and passionate following. And thank you, by the way, for all the followers who are passionate. I do appreciate that. Your business will see increased visibility and awareness, translating into more customers and sales. Ready to get started? Visit tombernardshow.com, click on the partner tab, and let's discuss how we can work together to grow your business. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Mary's back. She was on the phone for a while. So you had to tell them what was going on.
Yeah. I'm, dumpster fire here. That's my nickname.
Is that our dog barking, or is it?
Yes.
So,
It's not our dog.
Bark, bark,
he's
bark,
he's
bark.
sound asleep. If you
He-
hear a
I don't know what
snore,
you're talking about.
Gary, you need to go quiet him down.
I don't know what you're talking about.
bad dog.
So
Must be
yeah,
very
Mary,
nice.
we were talking about it earlier. Catherine and I went to Epcot and then over to Universal for the weekend. Beautiful weather. It's so much fun to go to those parks and all that. I'm trying to put together a deal for my birthday, not this November, but a year from November, because it's going to take about a year and a half to plan it anyway.
Oh God, for sure.
It's going to take forever to plan that thing. So it's the big birthday celebration coming up. So think about coming. Everybody should come.
Do the
Wait,
show
are you
from
gonna
there.
close the park, rent it out?
Yeah, he's gonna rent out Disney World.
Well, Mary, we're not Elon Musk, so no,
Well,
I don't
100%.
think we can do
I wanna
that.
come. I'll be there.
If you do the show, it's a write-off.
Yeah, we can start a crowdfunding right now.
You think
There
they
we
would
go.
do that if Elon Musk came to them and said, "I'd like to rent out the entire park"?
Oh yeah, they've done that before.
They have done it for people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or corporations have
Yep.
rented it out. I don't know if they get it for the entire day and night, but they can. I think you can rent it out for like a night.
Do they have to go at 2 a.m? You got 2 to 4.
Yeah, for real.
But seriously, my biggest advice to people that go, and so many people take such tiny little kids who aren't even going to remember this trip, but they want to take them because it's a wonderful experience.
Right.
Go it early in the morning, as early as you can. It is worth staying at one of the resorts so that you get that early
Yes.
access.
Yep.
Even if it's a half an hour, you can get on 3 or 4 rides in a half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can just walk right on. There's no waiting
What time
in
does it
line.
open?
It's fantastic.
8, 7. When's it open?
Generally the park opens at 9, but everything's subject to change every minute of every day in Disney. You never know what's going to happen. It's sort of annoying. But if you're staying at a resort hotel, a lot of times you get at least a half an hour early, sometimes an hour, sometimes nothing. But since you're at the resort, you can be at the gate when it opens and you can dash to something that you really want to see.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you do the morning when it's nice and cool and everybody's still in a good mood and you get the hell out of there.
Nobody's been drinking.
Get out for lunch, get out for the afternoon when all the kids are crying, all the parents are mad at each other, they're all threatening divorce. Get out while you can. The sea of strollers. Just get out and then come back. Go and spend the day at the afternoon at the pool, have a nice leisurely lunch, have a nice dinner, and go back to the park for a couple hours because all those screaming, crying, mad kids are all gone.
Yep.
It's the only way to do it. Yep, it's the only way to
crashed.
do it. Mm-hmm.
Good
No,
sound
it was-
advice.
So much fun. It was
It is.
really a lot of fun. We went on Saturday and Sunday. Just got back last night. It just had a wonderful time, except for driving back, of course, because we had to drive. You drive on the turnpike in Florida, you are
Oh,
going to get
my
your ass tailgated like you've
God.
never seen.
Oh God, they're going to go 90 miles an hour sometimes. That's why I don't like the turnpike.
Oh, the
I just
turnpike's
don't
psychotic.
understand how anybody drives latched onto your bumper like that. I mean, it's got to be
It's
so stressful to
weird.
just be like, I gotta get through. I mean, they must just like.
It's a
It's
2-lane
true.
road.
Hmm?
It's not a 2-lane road.
It
is
is
it?
a two. It's two.
Uh,
No. It's
It's four-
two
No, it's
lane.
north,
turnpike.
two south.
On each side,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
But I-95
is four.
is 4 lanes on each side, so
And they
it's
still
8
do it.
lanes.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean the tailgating is just. There was a woman tailgating,
Oh,
Catherine.
God, she was a nightmare.
She was unbelievable. She would get literally right up in the bumper and then flash her lights so we'd get out
And there
of the
was
way.
nowhere to go.
There's
and
nowhere to
and
go.
she had
Mine.
kids in her car.
Yep.
I felt
I-
sorry for her kids. I
You
can't
go
even
to
imagine.
find a mechanic who can probably outfit, like you have your your tailpipe, another pipe that will shoot out a cloud.
I would love that. I would love that. Or a paintball. I think
roll
that,
call.
Paintball would be good. That,
Paintball
anything
would
like
be
that.
I think that should be a new way of control. Like everybody paintballs this horrible driver. So
Actually,
by the time they
Claire-
arrive, they're just their car's covered in paintball,
Well, and
and the
it
cops
doesn't-
know.
Okay, so they have a head-on with a big semi coming the other way. You'll be gone. No
Yeah.
one will know it was you. You were long
Very,
gone.
very true.
You wouldn't even see it. Now,
Yeah.
Mary and I took our. Now, I don't count. It was great going to like Vegas and Dominican and Key West with the KQ Morning Show when we did that.
Right,
But
Right.
this was Mary and I's first vacation since our honeymoon. We went to Brookings, South Dakota, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 'Cause
Brookings.
Our son Shane. I'm representing his somewhere on here. The guy Lano Equipment gave me a
Me too.
Sandy hat, but this one was
Oh.
the South Dakota rodeo team. Our son is 2 for 2. 2 rodeos,
Nice.
2 trips to the emergency room.
Oh no, what happened?
go,
Is
nice.
he okay?
Nice.
He's
That's
fine. He
great,
had
kid.
we took him this time because he had to have his ankle X-ray because we wanted to make sure it wasn't broken. It wasn't.
Oh, good.
And, but the first time he had to get 8 staples in his head because he
Oh,
got
God.
thrown by a horse. He did saddle bronc,
Man.
which is you're bouncing up and down all the time.
Took a
And
hook to the back of the head.
he
You
had
guys-
he had the you remember the Thrill of Victory, Agony of Defeat, the
Yeah.
Wide World of Sports.
Yep.
Friday night, the name's Iowa. He had the Thrill of Victory. He won. I mean, he became, which is kind of
A
stunning.
great
but-
ride. He had a great ride too.
First-
He landed on his feet when he got off.
Yeah, first kid to have a clean ride like that at South Dakota State in a decade.
Really?
That was the Thrill of Victory.
He's now a
The
legend.
the agony of defeat. He got thrown from a horse and kicked in the head. He was lucky though; it was the side of the head, and a hoof just grazed it.
Oh, he's
Took-
so lucky.
He is very lucky. Another couple of feet. Oh, he is another couple of feet. All he got was 8 staples.
So what's his event?
Saddle bronc.
Saddle bronc. What is saddle bronc?
That's where the
for
horse
those-
comes out of a chute and tries to get you off.
So
trying to
Where
buck
they-
you.
They're wild, like
Broncos.
wild, like when they try to break a wild horse. You've seen it in
Okay.
movies.
Man.
Do you guys know
That's what it is.
Pickles? Do you guys know the guy Pickles? He was
No.
a rodeo guy for a long time. He lived
Oh,
he
where
lives
is
in
he?
Minnesota.
Oh,
Pickles.
Yeah.
Mary, stop panting.
Yeah. What's going on in that room?
There is some panting going on. There is
Is that-
panting.
is that-
Be a dog off camera.
We have a dog that's obviously excited. What are you doing, Mary? All we see is your thumb.
I don't know. It's muted, and I don't know why.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, you can't
you're
hear
okay
us.
now.
Okay.
Oh, well, we can hear you.
all right.
I'm having technical difficulties today.
Yeah,
Oh,
clearly.
well, it's time to wrap up in a minute anyway, so that it'll all work out in the end. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, definitely go to Epcot and stay there. The Grand Floridian is
Do
beautiful.
your research.
It's
I'm-
beautiful.
Every hour spent researching is probably 3 hours
Okay, so-
saved of misery.
Where do you recommend people stay? 'Cause you said you stay on the property.
The
What
Grand
hotel?
Floridian, if
That's
it's at Epcot or Disney World.
Well, the
And-
Grand Floridian is very beautiful. They have
Gorgeous.
they have different price points. It all depends what you want to spend. There
Yeah,
are
that's true.
some Disney resorts that are more reasonable than others. The Grand Floridian, I think, would be kind of up there, and anything
Yeah.
new is way up there.
Yeah.
There are. I mean, if you just can't swing it, there's a lot of hotels really close by.
Mhm.
But they're gonna nick you $35-$45 a day to park.
What?
And yeah,
In their lot.
In their
in
lot.
their lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I
But
will
they're-
tell you, the Hard Rock is phenomenal over at Universal.
Yeah, and Universal has 4 or 5 hotels that are adjacent to the property
Yep.
and have all of the resort perks. Lowe's, there's a brand new Lowe's. There's a huge new one, Sapphire or something. That's I think going to service
wait,
Epic Universe.
A
new
Lowe's
Epic-
Cinema?
No, Lowe's hotel chain.
Oh, I thought you was going to say, even I, who loves going to movies, I don't think I'd go to a movie while I'm at Disney World.
Probably not.
No. No,
No.
it's Lowe's hotel chain. I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
they own the theaters too. I have no idea, but I know that they do own hotels, and most of them are at Universal.
Yep. And by the way, if you stay at the Hard Rock, definitely eat at The Kitchen. The restaurant's just called The Kitchen. Really good food. Really,
I
really
bet
good.
there's a lot of 4- and 5-star restaurants in those hotels.
Oh, God, yes.
They
Really,
don't want you to
really
leave
good
the
food.
grounds.
There are so many places to eat. You don't have to go anywhere
Yep.
once you get on the resort properties.
You know, it'd be
All
a
right,
great
any-
investment. One last thing.
But
Find land 15 to 20 minutes from there, put a parking ramp, and let them park
Yeah.
there and let them Uber or have a shuttle.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
clean up with that. You charge them 30 instead of 45, 35 or 40, huh?
Huh? I like it. I like it.
Bob's always thinking. No question. That is going to do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.